back. China is accusing Canada of damaging its reputation by claiming it is secretly operating 2 police stations in Quebec. Beijing says Canada should stop sensationalizing the matter and stop attacks and smears on the country. A foreign ministry spokesperson says China has been strictly abiding by international law and respecting all countries' judicial sovereignty. This comes after the RCMP said it's investigating 2 alleged secret police stations at facilities in the Montreal area. Both are run by local city councillor Shishi Li. Police are investigating 3 others believed to be in the Toronto area.
I never thought I would see this in Canada. How about yourself?
Me too, actually. I just know this kind of thing. Oh, it's terrible. It's just a couple months ago. It's surprise, but just suddenly I know it's their habit. It's their habit. Actually, it's so important for Chinese Canadian. Because everybody they have their big families still living in China.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Markham, Ontario. And folks, I'm once again back at the Canada-Toronto Fuking Business Association. I really hope I pronounced that properly. And as you know from our previous reports, this is allegedly one of the homes to the Chinese police from Communist China. There's another operating out of a Markham home and a Scarborough convenience store. And as you can see behind me, some Patriots have gathered to send a message that this is not right, that something should be done about Chinese police operating on Canadian soil. Now, I can tell you something, folks, he didn't want to come on camera, but I spoke to a gentleman at one of the other industrial units here. And how is this for chilling? He said he was told not to speak to anyone about this police station. And when I asked him, who told you that, he would not say. He's clearly concerned. I mean, I don't know. It seems that this very country is resembling Communist China more and more rather than the Dominion of Canada. And you know, it's remarkable because in terms of the Chinese police station story, there was some good news to report earlier this month, and that was 2 New York City men were arrested for allegedly acting as agents for the People's Republic of China. They were also charged for obstructing justice by destroying evidence, and we will see in the weeks ahead how that trial unfolds. But clearly, some U.S. jurisdictions are doing something about these Chinese police stations. Why isn't Canada? And on that note, we reached out to the RCMP about that several months ago, September of last year to be precise. They said it's under investigation and there'll be no more further comments. And like I said, September, more than half a year ago. Unbelievable. In any event, let's see what these people have to say about this alleged Chinese police station. Sir, have you ever seen any kind of suspicious activity occurring here? Because we've been here several times. It's always closed, or either that or nobody's coming to the door and they keep the shades down. Have you ever seen anything suspicious?
It's busy at nighttime, but...
Oh, at nighttime?
Yeah.
Okay, then. And I hear at nighttime and certain days you'll see a lot of like high-end luxury vehicles out here.
Yeah, but that's all of Markham.
Well, you know what? I think we need more freedom dogs, cats, people, you name it. Roxy's got goggles on. Is that to protect them from any kind of reprisals from Chinese police officers that might wander by?
They might need it too. But no, it's just her statement piece.
Right.
She wears them most of the time when we go to rallies, especially if it's sunny, protects from the sun, wind, dust, anything.
Fantastic. Tear gas.
Yeah.
Kayla, what do you make of this issue? I mean, the fact that there are police officers from China operating on Canadian soil, it just seems almost preposterous to me.
It's pretty disturbing, kind of scary, especially for those who have emigrated to Canada. And now their government is making its way into the country that they left or came into to escape China.
We worked on it last night until midnight, and it says you are cowards in Chinese.
Oh.
So this is a message for these guys here because they are, and they're not even here today.
What I don't understand, I thought we were a sovereign nation. I know for certain there's not RCMP detachments in Beijing. There's not CSIS offices in Beijing. So why are foreign police operating out of here? And what are they doing?
They are doing, they can say, yeah, they are doing something for Chinese servers, right?
Yeah.
And easy and good government, right? To take care of us. Actually, who care?
Well,
Right? We don't need it. Actually, we don't need it.
we've heard that they don't carry badges, they don't have weapons, but they go to certain people in the Chinese community that they've been monitoring. They don't like what they've been saying, and they use coercion. They can say you can either go back to China and face charges, or we know who your family and friends are there and we can go after them on the mainland. I never thought I would see this in Canada. How about yourself?
Me too, actually. I just know this kind of thing. Oh, it's terrible. It's just a couple months ago. It's surprise, but just suddenly I know it's their habit. It's their habit. Actually, it's so important for Chinese Canadian because everybody they have their big families still living in China.
What we've heard is that these police officers, they don't wear uniforms, they don't have a badge, they don't have a gun, they don't have arresting powers, but they will go to Chinese Canadian citizens. Maybe they'd be monitoring their online, chatter. They don't like what they're saying, and they use coercion. They say, you have to go back to Beijing, and if you don't, we know you have family there, and we can put the heat on them. Is that what you've heard?
Yeah, I heard some friends talking about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why is this being allowed in Canada?
Well, this actually it's not allowed because they are pretend like casual people. So people didn't realize, and for maybe I think a lot of people other people don't know. It's happened on somebody even don't know at that time too. Yeah. So that's the reason. It's we should have let people know the truth, but it's not easy. If somebody if you want to tell truth, yeah, like they can do same things to you.
Derek, you mentioned money in terms of all the increased donations that were going into the Trudeau Foundation. Yep. Is there maybe, do you think, a money angle here? Is somebody being paid off? Because, again, to have a police force from a repugnant dictatorship working in a Canadian democracy, it goes completely against our values. So someone somehow being paid off here.
Oh, absolutely, and it's probably done through the Trudeau Foundation.
His public safety minister claimed that all Beijing's police stations had been closed. Today, 2 of those police stations reportedly said, no, they're open, they're operating right here in Canada. Why is the Prime Minister allowing a foreign dictatorship to run police stations on our soil?
The RCMP is taking action against these foreign police stations. This is something we need to see, and I've tasked the Minister to make sure that it gets done.
Very similar to the U.S., where people were buying Hunter Biden's pictures. It's just another means of moving money undisclosed. Now, with the Trudeau Foundation, let's be honest, it didn't really operate like a true foundation. Very hardly audited. I meant you have people from the CBC on Trudeau's foundation. I meant you have his stepsister on the Trudeau Foundation. You have his brother on the Trudeau Foundation. You have family friends on the Trudeau Foundation. So really, what just add it up. We're money laundering here, or we're shuffling money around.
Sounds like we might need a special rapporteur, a Trudeau family friend, in other words, to come in and advise the Prime Minister.
Exactly, and really, that's the biggest slap to Canadians in the face. If every Canadian's not upset about that he chooses a family friend to be the rapporteur over this investigation.
Tell me, ma'am, if you saw a Chinese police officer coming out of this building, we don't know if it's empty or they're just not coming to the door, but what would you say to him?
Why are you here? That's my question. Why are you here? What are you doing here? That's,
I just wondered if you'd get a straight answer, of course.
probably not.
Then again, 10 years ago, our Prime Minister said before he became Prime Minister that he has admiration in his heart for the basic dictatorship of China in terms of, getting things done, whatever that means.
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime and say...
What would prompt a future leader of a Western democracy to say such a thing?
He wants power. He wants to control the people the way China controls their people. To make that statement, that's when I heard him say that, I went, what? This is Canada. Why would you do that to the Canadian people? And I was disappointed, dumbfounded.
Well, folks, the more we speak to people who are in the other units, the more mysterious, the more weird this story goes. I was speaking to one woman. She didn't want to go on camera. She says she doesn't want any trouble to come to her, and we don't want to give her any trouble. But she said last summer she did witness the RCMP here. They were in marked cruisers. And shortly after they visited, for a few weeks later, this business association office was turned into a daycare, and then it reverted back to a business association office. I mean, how weird is that? But speaking of the RCMP, it's been, coming up for almost a year since they started acknowledging this case. Surely there must be some tangible information they've gathered. Surely they can be transparent to Canadian citizens as to why a foreign police force based in a communist dictatorship is having free run in the Dominion of Canada. That is absolutely despicable. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Well, folks, here we are doing an investigation of this alleged Chinese police station in Markham, Ontario. You sure don't see the mainstream media covering this story. That's why we need your help. Please go to rebelfieldreports.com. That's rebelfieldreports.com. And if you can contribute a buck or two to help us bring you this journalism, we would greatly appreciate that.